Founded in 1772, the historic Jerusalem Mill Village is one of the oldest intact mill villages in Maryland, thanks largely to the efforts of the Friends of Jerusalem Mill, whose volunteers work tirelessly to maintain and preserve this living history museum. Here to talk about their upcoming events are Rick Decker, president, and Sue Willard, member of the Friends of Jerusalem Mill, Inc. Good to see you both.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Well, full disclosure, I have to say I have never been to Jerusalem Mill Village, and I hear it is gorgeous. Sue, yes, I know Sue's like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to ask you to tell me and our viewers a little bit about the village.
Well, it was founded in, like you said, 1772. It was part of the original Jerusalem plot that was in 1687. A Quaker from Bucks County, David Lee, came down there and formed basically what you would call an industrial village. He had a grist mill, a sawmill, a wheelwright. He built himself a post office, a general store. He had a farm. He basically captured the market for goods and services in this Harford County area.
Yeah, and you brought me a lovely pamphlet that I guess you give out to visitors there.
Free
and
charge.
There are pictures of the different buildings, and they're beautiful. They're historic. They're very old. I mean,
Yes.
They span a number of centuries as well, don't they?
That's correct. Anything from 1770 to the last one on the census from 1811 was the general store.
Oh, okay.
So we have 11 buildings of the original 12 that were on a census in 1811.
That's very impressive. So I know that you do things all year round, Sue, but the holiday season is especially important and wonderful at Jerusalem Mill Village. So tell us this year what you have planned for the holidays.
We usually have a big event on the holidays. Last year it was a Dickens Christmas Carol. This year, since it's the 100th anniversary of the national parks, which owe a lot to President Theodore Roosevelt, which is why this young man is dressed the way he is,
sitting with a teddy bear
and holding a teddy bear.
And we'll talk to Teddy in a minute, I know. But
our
anyway,
theme is going to be the real story of the teddy bear. There may be a few people who do not know that the teddy bear was named after Teddy Roosevelt.
Right.
Maybe
Exactly.
a few. So that's our theme. He will be wandering through the village in the character of Teddy Roosevelt.
Right, yes.
We're going to have teddy bears all over the place.
More than 200, I understand, right?
More than 200. Our member, Michelle, who is the brains behind this whole thing, really came up with the entire concept, and it plays so beautifully into 100th anniversary of the national parks, which, you know, we're a park too.
Absolutely. So, and you have a book that you're holding there called The Legend of the Teddy Bear.
My part in this program is to read, and I'm going to have 4 readings from this book, The Legend of the Teddy Bear, which describes how Teddy Roosevelt became involved with the character of the teddy bear.
Okay.
It turns out, would you like me to read
I was
going to
say, before we talk to Teddy and get his feet on this, I'd love for you to take a little excerpt, if you wouldn't mind, read a little excerpt for us from the book.
I certainly will do that. The book is of course, set during his presidency. He was a hunter, and the whole thing about the teddy bear happened when he was down in Mississippi hunting bear. He didn't find a bear, but his cohorts found him a bear, tied it to a tree. He had his gun, and he was told to shoot the bear. He couldn't do that.
He couldn't do that.
He couldn't do that.
So read us quickly, just a little bit.
Late in the day on November 14th, 1902, as the sun was setting, some of the men in the president's group cornered a young bear. Barking dogs surrounded the frightened bear as the men roped and tied it to a tree. One of the men cried out, "President Roosevelt, come quick, we have a bear for you." The frightened bear clawed at the rope, trying to free itself. The bear whipped his head back and forth, its back feet kicking up clouds of dust. Teddy looked down at his rifle and then laid it on the ground. He shouted out to his men, "Stop badgering that bear. It's helpless. Let it go."
Okay, so great. So that's just a little sampling of what the kids and adults, parents, can enjoy and learn a little bit more about the whole history of Teddy Roosevelt. And how do you enjoy, there are a number of reenactors at Jerusalem Mill Village, are there not?
That's correct. We have a year-round program every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4, where we open up most of the buildings, and we reenact blacksmithing, tinsmithing, music, currency, calligraphy. We have a post office, a general store. All of these things are open for the public.
So December 3rd, and we had a calendar up, is when the special teddy bear event is happening. That's from 12 to 4 as well. But are all those other buildings you talked about open and,
Yes.
and active?
And they will be populated by people dressed up in period clothes and playing their role.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. So Jerusalem Mill Village is busy beyond the holiday season.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about what you have planned for the rest of the year.
Well, the first thing we're going to do on the 1st of January, the superintendent of the Maryland State Parks, Nita Satina, and we're having a first day hike.
Great.
An opportunity for everybody to check the first thing off of their New Year's resolution.
Get some
and
exercise.
Get some exercise.
Teddy would be proud of you.
Teddy would be proud of that. And and because the village was raided by the Confederates during the Civil War by Major Gilmore, we're doing a reenactment in June of that event, and where we have 30 or 40 reenactors.
Okay, so those are some big events, but as we said, year-round, you're open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4. We had a website up where people can go get more information. I'm sure you're always looking for volunteers to help because you're an all-volunteer organization, correct?
Yes, we are.
That's correct. No public funds. We have, it takes a village to maintain a village. And so we have about 600 or so volunteers, but we enjoy to have the next one.
Terrific.
And might be including you.
I'm looking forward to coming, seeing you all, especially listening to Teddy as well and Sue you read. So thanks so much, Teddy, or also and Sue as well. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, the